Minding Your Business Podcast, Champ Ron. I'm here, and I'm getting ready to bring in my special guest on today, whose name is Chris Prefontaine. He is a best-selling Amazon author, coach, and mentor. So, all right. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is Champ Ron with the Minding Your Business Podcast here on kind of a gloomy day here in Memphis, Tennessee. But nonetheless, we are in for a great ride today with my special guest. Mr. Chris Prefontaine is joining us today. He's taken time. He is an Amazon best-selling author, coach, and mentor, all things business and real estate. We are greatly excited, Minding Your Business Nation, to have him. Chris, how's things going?
Terrific. Thanks for having me, Ron.
Yep, absolutely. So we definitely appreciate you taking time today. And you have such a diverse and such an intensive background, and we don't want to waste a whole lot of time, man. But how's things going where you are?
Very good. We're probably the same gloomy weather you guys, sounds like.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that's kind of been, I spent a little time in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago, and I think I've seen the sun once in about a month. So
It is what it is.
yeah, no doubt about it. So, Chris, I guess let's start off. Talk to us a little bit about kind of your background and how you got started in business and in real estate.
I got started in real estate back in '91, actually, so I'm going to date myself just a touch. But we started with the single-family new construction business. Did a lot of what we call infill, so we take an existing subdivision and build homes on the single lots that might be left, or maybe even an adjacent lot to someone's house in existing subdivisions. We then bought a realty executives franchise as a broker, so it was a bit of a change in hats from builder to broker. In '95, sold that in 2000 to Coral Banker, and then I've been coaching ever since at some level or other. We coached realtors around the United States and Canada for a while, all million and up earners. And then we started doing our own investments a little bit more aggressively, somewhere around 2000, 2001. And that, at the time, as you probably remember, included more things like flips, condominium conversions, new construction still, and then some commercial deals. But the debacle of '08 really put a squash on that, and it caused us to re-engineer our entire business. So from '08 on, obviously things changed for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. And, that's something I wanted to talk about. My background, Chris, of course, in banking, I was on the flip side of that from the funding standpoint. And, I can greatly remember kind of what happened coming from '07 and '08. Talk about how that impacted, your business specifically and just kind of your thoughts on what it did to the country. Because it seems like there's a lot of, '08, people still a little pessimistic about it, even though it's been 10 years. Seems like there's a lot of the businesses. Yeah, a lot of people haven't forgotten. So, how was the impact?
Well, from a broad perspective, just to go back to the beginning of the question, money was easy, right, to get. So you walk in, you get what would be non-conforming now, but the stated income loans. And so that caused a lot of people to leverage in a lot of areas, including us. So we had buildings, we had projects, we had commercial things going on that were highly leveraged. And then the bigger challenge to that would be that we were on personally, and so weren't a whole bunch of people around the country. So when values went down 2/3 in some markets, or at least a third in other markets, that caused major headaches. We had condominium conversion, for example, run project with 6 units in it. Sold 3 at like 175 or so, and then literally like a light switch went off. We couldn't sell for $50,000. Well, that causes a bit of a problem financially. So,
well, of course.
Big time. So from '08 till about 12, so you're talking a good 3.5, 4 years. We just did workouts. We did foreclosures with our properties, short sales with our properties, just liquidating things, and then finally by end of 12, beginning of 13, re-engineered the entire business, which is what the book's about, to buy and sell only on terms. So we don't use banks, we don't sign personally on any loans, and we buy everything on either lease purchase or owner financing.
Gotcha. Okay. So then talk about, as you mentioned, it kind of went through 2012. So what kind of took place from 2012 till now that you kind of saw in the business? Did you see some lightening up, softening of the markets? What kind of took place? I know you got into the coaching realm even more. So what kind of took place?
Well, nothing changed other than us changing and pivoting. We call it pivoting with the market, right? So
Sure.
you no longer could walk in and get a state income loan, and quite frankly, nor did I want to put my name on anything anymore from a banking standpoint, and I couldn't because my credit was trash. So that's what changed, and that caused us to what I call re-engineer the entire business. So now we control and or own at any one time a portfolio of 50 or 60 properties. But again, we're not on any bank loans or anything to do with those properties, yet we're controlling and profiting from them. And we go out and do these ourselves every day in the field, and then we also teach our students around the country. But we've got our finger on the pulse. I think it's super important to still be in the field like that if you're going to teach people.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so, Chris, with that, you kind of bring up a good point, speaking of your credit being trash. And listen, I can attest to that. And many people that I coach and that we come across, many people that are listening to this podcast. Matter of fact, some people are commenting now that their amen corner from the credit being trashed from the downturn. So you got a lot of amens on that, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how for someone that's interested in getting into real estate, right? They're sitting around, Chris, they see people doing things. They hear you kind of put numbers out there, that's doing it real big and has a really consistently, profitable, model. Yeah. How do they get into real estate when, like you said, their credit may be trash for a number of different reasons. They may not have quite the high income and things like that to be able to leverage. So how do those kind of folks get involved?
Well, I mean, I don't want to make it sound so simple and watered down, but do what I did only because when I started, I had no income. I was in the hole big time. I had no credit. And so to go out and tie up properties, which we do now, we use $10 deposit. That's what we use. And so I'll give you an example. I try to give real live examples. We were in a room last, September, doing our annual event, and we did kind of like a poll, and all the students there who were in our immediate coaching environment, we call them associates, we controlled something like, I think it was like $30 million worth of property as a group, all of us, if we added up all our deals, and not one person in that room had anything over a $500 deposit, and the whole entire room didn't have more than $2,500 in. So if they don't have money, they can start. I would say this, I'm not so naive to think that I'm the only coach out there. There are hundreds. So find a coach that's in a niche that you like. Find a coach that is still doing what you want to do, not did it 5 or 10 years ago because the market changes too quickly, and that can be dangerous for you financially and otherwise. And then if you find that, then just don't deviate for at least 3 years. Don't dip your toe in. Don't say, I'll try it for 3 months. Don't deviate at all from that person for 3 years. Success leaves clues. They're out there. There are people that are doing what you want to do.
Yes. Yep, most definitely. Most definitely. And so, and that's great. And people are kind of raising their hand and they're loving to hear that. And, there are a ton of coaches everywhere. And so, how do people sort through a lot of the BS, quite frankly, Chris, because there are a lot of people, and I've read some of your book and your background. And, quite frankly, in my opinion, you're one of the more solid people that I've come across. And, but there's a lot of jokers in the deck. And so how do people sort through some of the jokers to to get through someone that can really help them?
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate how you worded that because I get calls. I want to tell you, sadly, weekly, myself, my son-in-law, my daughter, my son, we get calls from students around the country saying, we didn't meet you guys yet, and we spent X amount of dollars. And sometimes, Ron, we've met people in the six figures, not just tens of thousands, that they've spent on education to go nowhere. And it's because of two things, I think. One is when they're looking, how do they tell, as you said, the jokers? Well, there's a lot of free information out there, so look for information that you can dive into. You're going to know pretty quickly if you go through a few hours of someone's videos or their website or their values or whatever it is they're operating with, if you're going to want to relate to that or not. And the second thing is, are they currently, like I alluded to earlier, doing deals? There are just too many people, without using names, that did deals 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, some of the teachers, but they don't do them now. And the market changes too quickly, so all they're looking to do is sell you stuff. You're going to notice with us, All we do is we want people to do deals, and we do them with them. It's just an entirely different environment, and we operate as a family, and we encourage others to do that if there's someone inclined to do so. I don't know if that helps your question.
Yeah, no, it does. No doubt about it. Yeah, and that's something a few people have asked is, they're commenting here on Spreaker. Matter of fact, a guy here, Jim, is saying, yeah, amen. He spent six-figure money in some bad deals with bad coaches, and so it looks like he's going to be interested in connecting with you for sure. And Jim, I encourage you to do so, and we'll talk about how you can do so here in a second. So in terms of, we talked about getting involved, Chris, as an investor, but in terms of then running the business. So as you're investing and you're running the business, what goes into running your business? I noticed you have a really solid staff, reading a lot of the backgrounds with them and seeing some of them on LinkedIn and that sort of thing. How does that come about? Because a lot of people are pessimistic, quite frankly, in getting the business and who can they trust, and they want to kind of bootstrap it themselves and be kind of this solopreneur, and that's difficult to scale. But on the flip side, it's difficult to let go and have the trust. So how have you been able to do that?
Yeah, a couple things. Great points you made. So first of all, if anyone's looking or currently doing a deal or two, or wholesaling a deal or two, or rehabbing a deal or two, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to step on toes, they've got a job. And so that's not a business. And so if you're looking for a business, you got to kind of lean more towards what you just said. You got to look at this as, how can I scale it? And to answer your question on how we did it, I started like every single person listening. In 2013 summer, I started, as I said, with zero money, zero credit, and zero office. What I did is I started building the simplest way I could on these terms deals, so I didn't need any of that. And then slowly but surely, my son came on first and started helping with buyers and posting ads, and worked only on a per deal basis. So I couldn't afford payroll or anything. It had to be on a per deal basis. Well, everybody can scale like that, especially at the beginning. Then we added a personal assistant, say a day or so a week, and that whole what I call the path led all the way up to 2016 when my son-in-law and daughter joined, and then that team started to then expand beyond family members. So the business is scalable, and again, we've laid a path out. It's not whether you choose to follow my path or someone else's. There's the success, as I said, leaves clues. You should be thinking scaling if you want to have a lifestyle. If you want to do a deal or two a year, or three or four, and make some extra quote-unquote money, that's fine. But if you're looking for a business, you've got to be in a mode to scale and follow someone that's done that. Does that help?
Yep, it does. And I think that transitions even, Chris, beyond, real estate, just business in general. If people want to scale and have it to be a lifestyle, they're going to have to let go of, some of the pessimism, and they're going to have to get out there and really look to scale it. And you scale that with automation, with people, and a combination of the two. And so for your company, and we talked some about the jokers in the deck earlier, Chris, but what are some of the core values for your company?
Well, we have 6 core values, and I'll tell you just off the top of my head, some of the important ones for these guys to hear would be things like operating all our transactions with the utmost integrity. We make sure that we don't just do our transactions like that. We make sure that we also hire, fire, train, choose students, believe it or not. There are not so many trainers who would say no to someone joining their program. We choose and pick and make people apply because we want people to fit within our value system. We also have a value that says we empower individuals and families. It's what we're constantly doing. Another one says we constantly innovate and improve to evolve and scale in the real estate business. That has to be one. And so, again, when we're talking to potential applicants that want to come in our program, we're looking through all these values. Two big ones, I'll say, and then we can see if you have questions on these, is
sure.
We match effort for effort is one. So that means if you come in, it's not about me trying to push a rope and try to prod you to do something. It's you wanting it and us running as fast or as slow as you want to. And then the other one is we are clear, blunt, and to the point. There's no gray area. We all happen to be very blunt communicators. That's not for everyone sometimes. Sometimes people get offended by that. We want the best for people. We're going to be as blunt and to the point as we can. And so those are kind of the 5 or 6 values that we operate on and do everything around.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you run into those kind of people, Chris, that maybe have a little bit more of a thin skin, how do you kind of handle or treat those folks, whether they're students, whether they're clients or other potential investors? How does you and your team typically handle that?
We ask for permission. So part of the application process and each one of our family members calling this potential person who wants to come in our program, we would just ask you, are you okay with that? Are you okay with blunt communications? That's something that you're going to feel stepped on if we do that. And it's not that we're obnoxious, Ron, in any way. We're just very, very to the point so that we don't waste their time or our time. And so it's just the short answer is it's open communication, right? If you're just communicating each other's expectations, there should be no gray area at all.
Yes. Absolutely. And, everybody on the Minding Your Business podcast, this is Chris Prefontaine, Amazon best-selling author, coach, and mentor, real estate guru, is our guest today. And, Chris, tell us a little bit about the book, Real Estate on Your Terms. Very interesting title. Had a chance to kind of flip through it, and some great gems in there, man. Tell us about how the book came about.
Well, the book came about just because I remember my wife saying, why don't you tell your story a little bit? Because it's not like people see what we're doing. They say, well, so-and-so's lucky, or, oh, yeah, they must have hit the market right. You get all these excuses, which is crazy. Instead, I'd rather have people look for the reality and look for reasons to go ahead and succeed. And so in the book, I actually start the book off with the entire story of 2008 debacle. I want people to know what happens. I also have a chapter that have been criticized by other mentors in the industry. I won't give you their names, but I have a chapter that says what can go wrong. And one in particular, one very well-known trainer in the industry said to me, why would you do that? You're scaring people away. And I said, I'm not scaring people away. I don't want them to feel like they just left a seminar with all the fluffy stuff, and then they go out and they hit reality. So my book has a chapter on all the things that can go wrong and how we've dealt with them and how we've changed things because of that. And then we have another chapter that's 9 steps, walking them through exactly what we do, from getting the leads to scaling with virtual assistants to then getting the home on the contract to getting it sold, et cetera, et cetera. And then how we create, a big part of the book is explaining how we create 3 paydays, we call it, 3 per deal. It gives them cash right away when they sell the home or place a tenant buyer in our case. It gives them monthly cash flow. That fixes a lot of problems for people. And then it gives them a nice big back end instead of 1 check. 3 is better than 1.
Absolutely. Without question. Yeah, without question. So Chris, I guess, take me to, I always like to ask, every guest this question. And it's a little bit personal. Take me to the day, if there was a day, that you almost said, man, F this. You know what I mean? Like, I think, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners have this day or this moment or whatever they run into. I know I certainly have, where you're like, man, screw this. I can't do this anymore. I'm running into all these obstacles, people this, some of it's reasons, some of it's excuses. But take me to that day, if you had that day, and if you did, what allowed you to kind of press through?
Sure. I can tell you almost to the day. I can tell you the month and the year. It was February of 2008. I do talk about it in my book, but it was almost like a light switch was thrown. I remember where I was in one of our homes at the time in Massachusetts, and I remember, I forget which financial company made the announcement, and a couple of those big financial houses went down then, but I definitely said, I'm done. We had just done a refinancing to save our business and save our credit, because before this happened, the credit was great, and I wanted to be the hero and save it all. So we just went through that into the tune of $300,000 or so, and I said, what the heck are we going to do now? Like, we did the refi. The market just changed. We're not doing another one. We're not getting any more cash out of anything. And so I knew it was done, and I just threw my arms up. And then it took me 4 years, as I said earlier, to work through that, and then to say, by 13, to the second part of your question, to say, you know what, all that is for a reason. All that taught me a whole bunch of really cool things that I can learn from and others can learn from. And that's when we re-engineered everything, and ever since been just buying the way that I think in hindsight we should have bought all along. And so that's what changed. And if that didn't happen, if February of 2008 didn't happen, I wouldn't be doing what we're doing now. We wouldn't be working with the family and having a blast like we are now. So wow. I'm thankful now, but back then you couldn't have convinced me that it was a good thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and a lot of people have faced that type of situation, exactly how you put it, where, they're looking at things and they're introspective like you've been, Chris, which I appreciate. I appreciate that openness and introspective view of the business. I think that's what it takes. You have to have thick skin, and you've got to be able to press through. And you've got to be able to recognize where maybe decisions may be led one path, and maybe they could be done a different way or better. So, yep, I definitely love that, man. I love it. So, Chris, I know that you've got some different things that you share, with your students and kind of with, I guess, the population at large. What are some ways that people can get in touch with you if they're serious about, business, about real estate, and ways that they can connect with you?
Sure. The best thing, and I want to do this, Ron, for all the listeners. I know some of this is going live. I want to give them the book. I don't want them to go to Amazon and pay the $20-something bucks. I don't want them to pay for shipping even. I want to give it to them, and that doesn't mean you're going to get a book and then have to put your card in for shipping. I mean, I want to ship it to you too. So here's a link for you. Have all your listeners go to free, FREE, SREC, and that stands for Smart Real Estate Coach, freesrecbook.com. That'll get them the book for totally free. Lauren will send them a book in the mail and some other goodies for no charge. And then they'll also get notified in an email how to get on the free webinar. Both of those things so that they can dip their toe in the water for zero cost and say, is this the path I want to go on?
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris, and people are already, they're hand clapping for that. So thank you so much for that. That website, again, for everybody that's listening live or you're listening to the recorded podcast, that's www.freesrec, so that's srecbook.com. freesrecbook.com.
And if we miscommunicate that in any way, if someone didn't get that or it doesn't come out right, just go to smartrealestatecoach.com and you can message support if you have to.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to have that not only in the show notes, but also it's here on the live, Facebook Live, as well as on Spreaker. So that's being added as I speak. Great. And so we want to be able to have people get a hold of those resources. And Minding Your Business Nation, that is a phenomenal resource for you to get a book for free. That getting knowledge is key. We talk about that on this show quite often. And so Chris offering that up to you, I advise you to go out and take advantage of that, as well as the free webinar. And again, as Chris said, dip your toe in the water. And then when you're serious, contact them and then do business, because they're doing serious business, and you should as well. So, Chris, anything else that you'd want to leave just with the audience? Any nuggets or anything from your end?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought when you were talking, I just want to hammer home the idea of setting your expectations, meaning don't get caught by the shiny object on a lot of the infomercials and a lot of things you see, meaning get rich quick, you just need to push the button, you just need to do these mailers. No, it's going to take some work, but when you talk about creating 3 paydays per deal that can average as much as 50, 75, 100 grand per deal, it's worth you setting your expectations for the right mode to be out there 3 years. Work this thing hard for 3 years, you'll be glad you did.
Yeah, definitely. And listen, our guest today is Chris Prefontaine. Listen, Chris, man, I can't thank you enough, my man, for joining on the Minding Your Business podcast. I thank you for this information. People are extremely interested. I know that they're also able to connect with you on social media, Smart Real Estate Coach on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and on Twitter at Smart RE Coach. So they can connect with you there as well. But Chris, thank you so much, my man. I do want to be in touch with you because I'm into real estate here in Memphis on a few different levels outside of my banking past. And so I'd love to be able to connect with you and on that regard as well.
Well, I love it. I look forward to hearing from you then, for sure.
Yep, excellent. Chris, thank you so much again, my man, and enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the holidays, and best wishes to you and your family in 2019.
Thanks. Same to you, Ron. Happy holidays.
All right. Thanks so much, man. All right.
Take care, buddy.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. So that was Chris Prefontaine joining us, smart real estate coach, author, mentor. you guys should connect with him, man. I'm going to add this into the Facebook Live. Make sure everybody's got all the links to be able to get to the free book. He's offering his book for free. Normally it's a little over $20 or so on Amazon. Not only is he letting you get it, but he's also shipping it to you. www.freesrecbook.com. That's the move that you need to make. And also there's access for the free webinar. So make sure you connect with Chris if you're interested in real estate. You heard him talk about having some issues with credit and income and things like that. So there's an opportunity for you. This is not a guy that had a silver spoon. He's had to work, man. And so as many of us had. So I encourage y'all to do that. Just a quick break. The Minding Your Business podcast is brought to you by Brooks Brothers Consulting, Inc. Brooks Brothers Consulting was started by my brother Philip and I back in June of 2013. We are a sales business development organization that we're working right now with small business owners and financial institutions. So we really want to rev up. We want to help you with your business planning. We want to help you write your business plan as we go into 2019. So make sure that you get with me. I want to help you do that. A business plan is more than just what you hand your banker or what you hand a potential investor. Is your plan, is your roadmap. It is a living document that you utilize to help guide your way through your entrepreneur and business walk with a particular endeavor or endeavors. And so you need to be able to have that in play. It's not just something you get developed and go throw on the table. You use that as your guide and as your map, and it evolves as you do and as the environment does. So you need to get with us on that. www.brooksbrothersconsulting.com is where you need to go, and you can communicate on that. And we also help develop sales platforms, training platforms, things like that for your business, no matter what size it is. If you started yesterday, you just got a tax ID number yesterday and you're getting started, just registered your business, or you started business in 18 whatever and you've been doing it for 100 plus years. Doesn't matter. We can help you, and we've got the expertise to be able to help you. So thank you so much. Of course, the Minding Your Business podcast is powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Thank you so much. My great partner, brother, Dominic Lawson of Owls LLC and the Startup Life podcast. We're working very diligently. You can go to onabinge.com. That's onabinge.com, and you can learn more about how you can be a part of the podcast network. Whether you have an existing podcast that you'd love to have us be additional resources to help grow your audience, or you want to grow your audience because you're looking to start a podcast. You have a podcast idea that's all yours, and you want to have some partners that can help you and kind of direct you and coach you on how to make your show vibrant and how to get it to the right market and whatnot. We're not perfect. But Dominic and I have been doing it for a while. He's my big brother in podcasting, and we can definitely help you get to where you're trying to go. Podcast is a great way for you to build your brand and connect with your target market. So get with us. You can inbox us if you're here on Facebook. You can email me, Ron, at the MYB. So the Mary Yellow Brown podcast.com, the mybpodcast.com, Ron at the mybpodcast.com. The email is where you can email me. So listen, thank y'all so much. Chris Prefontaine, thank you. Thank you to everybody joining in on Spreaker, everybody on Facebook Live. Scott Kinney, what's going on? CN, what's up, brother? Donald Watson, how you doing? Chris Eagleston, what's going on, brother? Lisa, what's up? Philip, what's going on? Marcus, what's going on? Peoples, everybody that's on Spreaker. Jim, Latoya, what's going on? How you doing, girl? Jamara, how you doing? Sally, what's going on? I see you. Elizabeth, what's going on? Chris, how you doing? John, what's going on, man? Yeah, so Yeah, listen, thank y'all so much. Have a great weekend. We got the holidays coming up next week. On next week, I've got another great special guest that you'll see. You can check us out, the Minding Your Business podcast on Facebook, and you can see next week's guest that I'm got a personal connection with, and I've seen her grow exponentially, and very interested in this particular interview that we'll be doing on next week. And then we're getting ready for 2019. We're wrapping up 2018. 2019 is going to be a monster. We've got even more entrepreneurs, more business owners. As mobile as I've been this year, we're going to be even more mobile, going on site, meeting people in different locations. Shout out to my guys at Slice of Soul Pizza Lounge. Shout out to the Hub, everywhere that I've been. Shout out to everybody who has been a guest on the Minding Your Business podcast on this year. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, and liking, and listening to the podcast. Continue to do so. Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, SoundCloud, Spotify, where else? iHeartRadio, YouTube, and of course, www.themybpodcast.com. Listen, I'm signing off. Happy holidays to everybody, you and yours. Be safe, be great. Do something great for someone outside of your faction or that you interact with every day. And we're just going to keep moving. There's a lot going on in the news, a lot of noise. But entrepreneurship, real estate, trending news, there's no business like minding your own. Champ Ron.